Hey everybody, Mark Johnson here, founder and creative director of Able Abe Studios. Back again, and today I want to do a book review. If you're new to the videos, this is something new that I'm also doing, and hopefully to continue on and do maybe some more reviews of books. Lately I've been on a book reading tear, and I find it very fulfilling, rewarding, especially depends on what you're reading about and that kind of thing. But I also feel it's a great way to get some information. It's also a great way to kind of, push yourself. I don't know if you're someone who likes to read. I wasn't necessarily someone who likes to read, but I think over the time that I've been, doing it, because I've been reading a lot of books in the last maybe 2 months, and so I'll be, posting some of these videos of the books I've been reading. And the first book today is by Richard Branson. I don't know if you're familiar with Richard Branson, but he is, multi-billionaire. Virgin, if you know Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines, those kind of things. This is all him. So this is his book, How I Lost His, or Losing My Virginity. It's basically his story, his life story. How he survived, had fun, made a fortune, doing business his way. And I'm not really one to do a lot of autobiographies, but when I started to read this book, he'd been kind of maybe on my mind in the sense that maybe I saw some YouTube videos, maybe I heard someone talking about him, and I just kind of felt, why don't I read about it? Read about what his life is like. And so I just kind of got this book and started reading it. Like you saw, it's kind of a thick book. It's like over 500 pages, but once you get going, it kind of carries you through. It's a very good read, very easy to read in the sense that he's basically telling his life story. And I won't necessarily go too in depth with the video about the book, but I'll give you some of the things, the pointers that I thought was interesting. And what I'll also do is put some links in the description box below, so you can also see some other book reviews of this Richard Branson book from other people to kind of maybe get a full scope of people liked it, what they didn't like, and that kind of thing. But the thing that I liked about this book was the sense that he was fearless. Maybe a little naive, you could say that too, but I think the main word for me was fearless, in the sense that he had an idea. Maybe the idea was by some people's standards not going to work out. It was maybe not necessarily something that they could see really accomplishing or being able to be done, but he was fearless in the sense that he went for it. If he felt good about it enough, he was always ready to kind of tackle whatever came his way. And so he started out with a magazine, young age. I think he's maybe 18, maybe a little younger than that at that point. And another thing I liked was that he always had people and friends and family that supported him. I think that's a major thing. Whatever endeavor that you go, if you have people who support you in doing it. But he also had people who were, in a sense, like I said, they were the naysayers, but they still followed him in his path. So that's why I liked the fact that he was fearless. The other thing I liked about this was the fact that he showed the trial and tribulations that he went through along this path. A lot of stories, they really just do the shiny, bright part of the story. They tell you, they started the business and all of a sudden they became multimillionaires. And that's not really how a lot of things go. And so in this book, he talks about time after time after time where it was do or die for the business. They put money down to do this, money down to do this. And if it didn't work out, the scheme didn't work out, that was, that was it. But that's really what life is like. A lot of times you got to make a choice, and that choice may be, real tough decision to make. But at the same time, if you don't make a decision, that's the worst thing you can do. So that's another thing I liked about the book. Talked about his family life. Another part was that he talked about his adventures. Okay. And when I say adventures, I'm not talking about driving cross country. I'm talking about going across a transatlantic ocean in hot air balloon. I think they started out with a boat. I think that's where the first attempt was. So, non-stop, going across the channel, Guinness Book, world record kind of stuff. And he was near death many times. And as much as he kept saying that he would never do this again, he ended up doing it again. So another time he went in the hot air balloon. And he did that twice. You know what I'm saying? The first time didn't go. He was able to actually save himself. And he still went after it again and did it another time. And so again, that just, again, to me, pays tribute to his idea of being fearless. Maybe in a sense having fun. Maybe having too much fun. But, he's still alive to kind of talk about it. So that's great. And so those, I think those are the main things. I think if I'm also grabbing something out of it for the business people, the entrepreneurs out there, is the fact that, you do have to, deal with those trials and tribulations and get to the other side. You know what I'm saying? I think ultimately at a certain point, one of these big decisions he talked about in this book was selling Virgin Records so that he can maintain his airlines, and how it really was a gut-wrenching thing. And he talked about how it was like losing a family member. So, I mean, you can imagine how that is, So, so this is a little bit of my book review on Richard Branson's Losing My Virginity. And like I said, I will leave a few links to other book reviewers out there that review the same book, so you can get a bigger scope, because I don't really want to have to go too deep into the book. I don't want to take anyone's joy away from reading the book and discovering it for themselves. But that's kind of where I started. I wanted to discover some new things. Why not go to the top, and go to the people who are actually doing it and have done it. So I hope you like my review. If you do, definitely like the video. Definitely leave a comment, if you like what I did, and just kind of explain what the points that you liked, maybe some things that I could do better. And I definitely want to keep pressing on and doing some more book reviews. So like I always do at this time, have a blessed day. See you on the flip side. Let's go.